All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Canopus Chats. Today I'm here with the founder of Terra-Tory, Kimberly Waldropt. Give her a round of applause, everybody. Yay, Kimberly, welcome. How are you today?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to have this dialogue with you.
Awesome. You know, when I learned about what it is that you're doing, I thought I had to get you on Canopus Chats to let everyone hear more about this fantastic product and service that you're offering to others. Now, when people hear the name Terra-Tory, what should they be thinking of, or what was the thought process behind this project?
That's a great question. As soon as you hear Terra-Tory, what I want people to think of is the earth. Mm-hmm. All aspects of the earth, the things that come out from the earth, things that we grow, things that we eat, things that we put on our bodies, mm-hmm. and as well as what we put out into the earth as well. Mm-hmm. Terra-Tory has so many different thought processes behind it. Mm-hmm. So when I want people, most and foremost, what I want people to think about is your territory, your space, your body, your orbit, your aura, everything around you. Mm-hmm. The second thing I want people to think about is respecting the earth and understanding that whatever the products are mm-hmm. that come from Terra-Tory, it came straight from the earth. Mm-hmm. That's what Terra means. Terra means earth. Mm-hmm. So taking the word Terra and Terra-Tory and putting it together, it creates a plethora of ideas that, one, we should take more care of the earth.
Right.
Because whatever we put into the earth, we also consume. And so also to make sure that whatever we consume within our bodies is also can be consumed on our bodies.
Right.
And circling back to the fact that everything came from the earth. Right. Every product, every inch of my soap bars, every inch of my body butters mm-hmm. across the board is 100% natural. And that's what I want people to think about.
I think that's great in terms of the product, the idea behind it, and the message that you'd like people to get when they think of your products. Now, you have a background as a technical designer. What made you decide to leave luxury designing and intimate apparel to actually launch your own business?
Wow.
Take your time.
There's a lot to unpack there. But I love that question because it was definitely a journey of dealing with being in an industry that was male dominated. Mm-hmm. However, it is very body conscious. Mm-hmm. Day in and day out, I was looking at pretty much naked bodies day in and day out. Mm-hmm. Hearing people's complaints about their skin, being really insecure about certain parts of their bodies. However, to be I guess, model, mm-hmm. to a fit model, you have to have some level of confidence. But I would constantly hear the conversation about, oh, my skin. But that was always like, I never really addressed it as such. Mm-hmm. And then working in the city, being exposed to like your local CVS or Rite Aids or any type of like beauty supply store, especially in the urban areas, mm-hmm. especially targeted for Black people, mm-hmm. you would kind of see the same products, especially for eczema treatment or, aiding eczema or even for, you know, acne or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at the ingredients, they all just said the same gibberish, just long words, long compound chemicals,
Mm-hmm.
things that no one could really understand what was.
Right.
And seeing that for so many, you know, for so many years, you just use it because it's there.
Right.
Now, when I decided to tap into, you know, natural skincare,
mm-hmm.
I was already stressed out. My skin was horrible. I was eating like anything that came my way. I mean, of course, when you have like a set routine of life, you are driven towards the things that are shown to you or local around you. But I was surrounded by a bunch of crap.
Right.
And there's always so many different options. There's so many different things for your diet, so many different things for your skin, so many different things for your hair, especially targeted to Black women.
Right.
And so we feed into it. We, you know, I was under a lot of stress. I had really bad eczema. My hair was terrible. The skin on my face was terrible. And so I said to myself, okay, well, this just must be what adulthood is like. This is what, you know, you go to work, you eat, you have breakfast, you drink coffee, you're eating, you're snacking in between, you're sitting at a desk, your work piles up, you're underpaid,
mm-hmm.
you know, and you go home, you barely get any rest. You go home, you eat like crap, you barely get any rest. You're not working,
so you were pretty much repeating the cycle.
I was repeating
what you had seen before.
A very toxic cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And it did my body in at an age where I thought, wow, I'm supposed to be like radiant in my early 20s and I'm supposed to be healthy and energetic, but the stress of work and working in that type of environment where your boss is emailing you midnight and you're trying to get sleep and you can't get anything done and you wake up and it's the same thing every day for me for 6 years.
Wow.
And, you know.
So when did it click for you to say, okay, I'm no longer riding this train. I need to get off and do something else.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I think everyone at some point was making their own shea butter at some point at home, you know, just to have a little self-care in between those really stressful times. And
even I think also some autonomy in choosing what it is that you put on your body. I think when you take control and prepare things, you become more involved in the process.
Yes.
And you own it.
Absolutely. And in between those times, you know, coconut oil was booming. It was booming. I mean, you put it in your hair, you use it on your face, you use it on your body, you go to the beach and tan with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, you put it on your kids, you give it to your dog. I mean, you cook with it. Coconut oil was booming at such a rapid pace for like 5 years, like a solid 5 years. And I was one of those people that kind of just like dove into that trend. Mm-hmm. Now, this is not to say that coconut oil is bad.
Right.
Me personally cannot handle it.
I see.
Now, I got a really bad eczema flare-up. Mm-hmm. It was in my arms. Actually, it was eczema and plaque psoriasis. It was on my arms, back of my knees, and it would happen primarily in the summertime. Okay. So, of course, I'm using Dove, I'm using Dial, I'm using Zest, I'm using Aveeno, I'm using CeraVe, I'm using petroleum-based products because that's what they have on the market. That's what they have when you go on the floor level to your local Rite Aid or, you know, CVS. Mm-hmm. And so that's what you got. Mm-hmm. I'm using it. Okay, it's doing what it has to do. But then the eczema would reoccur.
Okay.
And I said to myself, so I'm just going to be buying this for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm overly stressed and tired. My eczema is kicking my ass.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that there was a young lady,
Mm-hmm.
just recently got hired. And she was this, you know, again, I'm predominant, I'm like 2% population Black woman in my company.
Right.
And she just started having a very open conversation about how much she was making.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a recent hire,
Mm-hmm.
and she was young, didn't really have much professional background.
Mm-hmm.
And she disclosed out loud,
Mm-hmm.
mind you, same position,
Mm-hmm.
same amount of work.
Mm-hmm.
And she displayed to me that she got her salary was $10,000 more than mine.
Mm. Wow.
And, you know, when I heard that, I didn't address her or anything, but I'm just like, well, I was at this company much longer than her.
Mm-hmm.
And I've asked for raises in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And they always tell me, of course, no, it's not in the budget right now.
Mm-hmm.
But they had the budget to hire a whole new human
Mm-hmm.
with way less experience than me. And so, like, I shut down.
Okay.
I stopped caring about my job. I came into work whenever I felt like it. And I just had this really bitter attitude about it. And so one day my boss came in and she saw the decline in workload that I was putting very little effort into.
Mm-hmm.
And she says to me, well, you know, I noticed that doesn't seem like this is working out for you. What's going on? Talk to us. What's happening? And I told her, and I said, look, Shorty said that she's getting paid this amount, and I've asked on multiple occasions on paper. I wrote down what I do. I wrote down the amount of work that I pump out. I write down, you know, I gave them my rap sheet.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And I told them, well, you know, you guys are constantly telling me it's not in the budget, but so-and-so just said that she gets paid this amount. And the first thing she did was she took out a piece of paper. It was a stapled pieces of paper. She laid it on the desk and she says, well, okay, you either continue to work here or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only options she gave me. And so what was on the paper was my termination papers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I signed the termination papers and I was like, you know what? Peace. I came home. I told my mom the situation, and always in the back of my head, because my mom ran a soap company 20 years ago. And always something that, you know, we just enjoyed doing when I was younger, because that's who taught me how to make soap.
Okay.
She said, look, you want to start the soap company back up? And I'm like, let's do it. And that was November 2017.
Wow. So you're almost in 3 years. And you didn't look back. So a journey it was for you.
Absolutely.
Work in corporate, experiencing some of the biases that is existent. Sometimes it's intrinsic bias, and other times it's overt. But it affected your output, and it caused you, as you said, to become bitter. And for you now, Terra-Tory is not for you to become bitter, but it's you becoming better. Absolutely. Using the tool that you already had access to. And so cultivating that into a business. Now, when I look at the history of soap making, I see that it has been around for centuries, and it has evolved immensely through the ages. And I noticed that in, I think, around World War II, the process changed with the input of chemicals such as petroleum in a synthetic way of making soap. So here you are in the industry trying to stay afloat, and you're in the United States, not France, not London, and some of those places where soap making is a huge business. You're in the United States. What makes your products better or different from existing ones?
Absolutely. Love that question.
Great.
So Terra-Tory is much different because I don't use the traditional oils and fats that most soap or mass-produced commercial products, or even, you know, most soap makers in the United States use. 90% of the market use coconut and palm oil. That is because it's quicker and cheaper to make. However, coconut oil is not considered a hypoallergenic item or product or ingredient. It is a tree nut, so there are allergies linked to it.
I see.
One of those, I have one of those allergies.
Got it.
However, it is the process that the coconut oil goes through in the United States that makes it impure.
I see. So is that the refining process?
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, however, if I took a trip to Jamaica right now and you take a coconut from off the tree, crack it open, boil it down, you know, make real coconut oil with no extra, you know, without hydrogenating it, without going through a distilling process, without any of that, I'm totally fine. Zero effect to me. Palm oil, obviously, has had so much controversy within the last 20 years, cutting down trees, deforestation, you know, killing homes for so many animals. I never saw the need to make a product that does take a certain amount of time to create, but to cutting it shorter, however, also ruining a habitat for live animals that live off the earth.
Right.
Okay.
So it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
However, now there are sustainable palm tree farms that create palm oil. However, I just personally don't see the purpose.
I see. So what do you use instead? So if your ingredients are not mainstream or the traditional ones, what is it that you use in your products so that will preserve the earth and protect the body?
So I only use 4 major ingredients, which is shea butter, hemp oil, avocado oil, and rice bran oil.
I see.
Those 4 ingredients are high in omega fats.
Okay.
When I say high fat content, fat content is important because those omegas is what's going to moisturize and put nutrients back into your skin instead of stripping it away like your normal regular commercial bar soap is to strip and cleanse. So now if we go back to coconut oil, most people don't know when it's in its natural state before it becomes soap, it is very hydrating to most people.
Right.
In its most natural state, as virgin as possible. But then when it becomes a salt product or a soap, when it goes through the saponification process, it then becomes the opposite of moisturizing. It becomes very, it holds very, very high cleansing properties. Okay. And so cleansing means stripping oils from the skin.
That explains why people experience that when they wash with it. Sometimes their hair becomes oil, their skin becomes extra dry, but it's supposed to moisturize and do all these things, but the end result doesn't match the outcome.
Thank you. So then now you have soap makers knowing that coconut oil and palm oil is super cheap. So they'll buy as much as they can and use that as, I want to say, 50% of their formulation, but then doing that causes your bar to have a very, very drying effect. However, don't get me wrong. If your bar is a cleansing bar and you want it to clean, absolutely. Use it for that. Right. But most people will find that if the first ingredient is coconut oil or palm oil, they will most likely over time, using it over and over for so many years. Think about it. We've been using Dove for so many years. We've been using Zest and Dial for so many years. Right. And then we are questioning why we come up with these weird skin rashes and why our skin is so dry and why we have flaky skin, and because we're constantly using these drying, cheap products on our skin.
I see. So now, you're offering a refined product that does not remove so much moisture and take away from you all of the nutrients that you need to keep your skin moist and to protect your skin.
Not only that, I also use superfoods that, because I do have a strong philosophy that the foods that we eat play a huge part in how our skin behaves. And so I always make sure that my diet is on point. So with that mindset, my diet also mirrors the superfoods that I use in the product.
About some of the feedback that you're receiving from people, you can attest to it because you know what you're doing behind the scene. But I think it feels good when your customers are coming back and saying results and really sharing the successes of the product. So tell me about maybe one of the feedback that you've received that just made you go, wow.
Oh my gosh, feedback. I mean, I get it's countless feedback, to be completely honest. I mean, even sometimes when I take a shower, I'm like shocked at how amazing it is. But I get a lot of people telling me that, you know, some people that get bumps, like little tiny bumps on the back of their arms are gone, they're smoothed out, or they have back knee, or even butt knee. Butt acne is gone, and you know, eczema. I'm not saying that we're curing eczema here, but we are alleviating a lot of the symptoms that eczema come with, especially smoothing out skin tones from eczema, scratching, you know, the constant itching that leaves behind a lot of scars. Again, I'm not using anything, you know, no weird chemicals, or I'm not doing anything weird. I'm just tapping back into the roots of my ancestors and all of our ancestors of color that smeared avocado. I mean, like, think about it. We're smearing avocado on our faces. We're seeing amazing results. We're sitting in bathtubs full of oatmeal and we're seeing amazing results, but we're not doing that anymore. We're taking showers. We got to go. We got things to do. And so you know, the plantain, it's plantain is like high in vitamin K, high in vitamin E, vitamin C, vitamin A. And instead of saying, oh my gosh, let me just go get a really expensive bottle of vitamin E and slather that all over myself, taking time to take a shower. I mean, we take showers every day. we take supplements every day. You know, we take vitamin E, we take vitamin D, we're taking probiotics every single day. Mm-hmm. It's like taking, you know, showering with aloe every day. Mm-hmm. Does amazing things for skin, you know, evening out the skin tone. Healing, has a lot of healing properties. So when you think about it, I'm taking the concepts of natural plants that heal us from the outside and the inside, right, and kind of making it like a little supplement shower bar thing that you shower with every day. And in a week's to almost a month's time, you see drastic changes. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I get photos of before and after. I have to put that on the website because people have to
you
see.
Should, you know, actually I'm thinking, I'm going, let's see, I went to the website and I didn't see any of those visual images to help to tell the story.
Right.
And so I see the product and the artistic design in the display and the positioning of the items. And I'm thinking, I need to see those before and afters, because a picture is that 1,000 words. And so we want to encapsulate that idea in those photos. So I'm looking forward to seeing that sometime soon. Yes,
absolutely. And I mean, even, you know, on the website, there's a whole review page. And I mean, like, you know, when I write reviews on things, I just want it to be 1 or 2 sentences. It was great, whatever. But I mean, people are writing essays, and I'm just like floored by how descriptive and deep-hearted their skin, like skin issues that they've had for years, and they've used so many different products, and they couldn't seem to get, you know, these little bumps on the back of their arms gone. But with just like after 2-3 days of using the soap, just taking a shower, they already see a difference. I mean, I got to figure out how to get those images on the website, because I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I hear your heart, and you're proud of what it is that you output. You are definitely elated about how it is impacting people's lives and improving their skin, the condition of their skin. You love that. What I'm hearing is the reservation that you have in keeping that, still creating a brand and keeping the brand, the quality of the brand, not growing beyond your breeches, so that you can still manage production and stand by the quality of your work. If people wanted the product, we know that the website is one place, but I just also wanted to see if the product can be found in other distribution sites or other areas. Do you have any other partnerships and distribution?
Absolutely. There are about, you know, some online stores that you can reach out to. You can find them on the website in the where to buy section on our website. And yeah, I mean, I keep it very small, again, because I'm very specific about the places that I see my products sitting. Definitely has to be a place that talks and preaches about being sustainable and eco-friendly from top to bottom. But other than that, yeah, that's a few other places you could definitely find online. Package Free Shop. Package Free Shop is one of my biggest retailers because, again, they're package free. Okay. And so
is that part of the zero waste movement?
Absolutely. So because I give my customers the option to receive a naked bar or a wrapped bar, Package Free just decides no packaging for us, and your product is just amazing, eco-friendly, 100% biodegradable. And so yeah, I only, you know, like to move in those directions. But yeah, I mean, there are some smaller boutiques, online stores that you can definitely get the product from.
Okay, so virtually. Now I'm going to ask you this question, because we started out with the economics of salary differences and how the corporate environment did not stand right by you in terms of a compensation package, mirroring the output of your work. Now that you have launched your business and you're working for self, and although it's not your primary, it doesn't seem it's your primary focus, is it a financially lucrative endeavor? You know, for you in terms of where you were before, the time that you put into your business and the return on investment, do you see it as something that is more rewarding than just helping people?
Yes. I 1000%. I think I've made more money so far this year than I've ever made in any company that I've worked for in 6 years.
And you had a few jobs.
Right. I had quite a few jobs. And even, you know, I was working a corporate job while I was in college, you know, getting my degree. And yeah, I've made way more. way.
So it's good. You're pretty much enjoying the best of both worlds. As we wrap up our segment today, you know, I'm hearing your heartbeat, the love that you have for what it is that you're doing, and your affinity for caring for the earth and caring for the body. Terra-Tory, I love that name. Someone who might be considering going into business for themselves, taking a hobby and turning it into a business. If you had less than 1 minute to offer them advice, what would you say to that person to help them to be successful in this endeavor?
Keep your product as exclusive as possible. Mm-hmm. Exclusivity definitely adds value to what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Exclusivity gives you room to play and come up with different things to excite your customer. Also, love what you do, mm-hmm. Period. I mean, it's such a redundant thing that I hear people say all the time, and you really gotta love what you do and drink plenty of water.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the secret sauce to Kimberly Waldropt's secret for success, or recipe for success. You gotta love what you do, and you gotta hydrate, okay? And don't forget to be exclusive. Kimberly, I thank you so much for sharing your time with me today at Canopus Chats. It was great. And, you know, I was gifted your product way before I even spoke to you. And so I'm looking forward to actually using what's in my goodie bag and to be a part of the community.
Thank you so much for having me and elating my voice and highlighting Terra-Tory in your platform. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thank you so much. Yeah. Woo!